Und damit willkommen zurück zu The Great Ace Attorney. Das war Chronicles, meine Lieben. Wie wir schon vor zwei Parts ungefähr angedeutet gekriegt haben, wir den zwei Herrschaften gerade unterwegs und sind auch mitten in der Deduction stehen geblieben. Mal schauen, wie es hier jetzt weitergeht. Sagen wir das mal so, wie es ist, und der wird jetzt Dragon auf Morse zeigen. Ich weiß allerdings nicht, inwiefern die ausbedeuten. Ich habe nämlich fairerweise nicht drauf geachtet die ganze Zeit. But why should Shishiro run from us? Before we consider that question, allow me to confirm one small matter. Would I be correct in saying that these first class cabins of the SS Crucial are the same ones in which you and Mr. Jigoku were accommodated on your voyage from Japan? Ah, that's right. There are. I was in the cafe next door, and Shishiro was yes. 15 days in this very cabin during our voyage, as I suspect for UZ. There is traced in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jigoku had to hide. What traces? I know nothing about this. Das würde jetzt halt fairerweise jeder sagen können, dass er darüber nichts weiß, muss man dazu sagen. This is news to see. Is it Mr. Strakonov? Shrooms, what exactly are you getting at? As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity. Something that appears out of place, which I'm quite sure won't have escaped your notice. Something out of place in there. That's the key to this Mikotopa. Wollen die jetzt darauf die Regeln ansprechen, oder was soll ich da jetzt noch sagen? I must say, didn't foresee ever doing this dance of deduction with you again, Mikotopa. Not quite, but our life is full of expected twists and turns, as we will know. Now then, let's see if I can uncover the truth here. Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellow. The remains of the dark deed that took place in here are being masked by something quite ignorant. Also da kann es ja eigentlich bloß nennenswerterweise, muss ich fairerweise sagen, die Regeln sein, weil was anderes Auffälliges, das habe ich ja schon im letzten Part angemerkt, dass das hier quasi rübergehängt worden ist und wahrscheinlich schon ungefähr hinpassen würde, und so doof ist, so schief wie das trägt, also ich weiß nicht. Aber ja noch ein bisschen nennenswerterweise verschlafen, als sonst aus irgendwelchen random Gründen. Muss man sagen. Dementsprechend it's the rules of passage in this frame here. There's obviously out of place. The way there's hanging crooked on the wall is if they were put there in a hurry. Yes, as I'm sure I have already concluded. That frame was originally over here. The shape and size are a perfect match. Duh, you are right, but when did you remove? Hardly the most observant of crewmen are you, Mr. Strokonov? I sure would think your captain is quite justified in having his reservations about your reliability. Oh dear, that really seemed so too much on nerve. So Mikotoba, why don't you lift that frame off the wall? That looks like a bullet hole. What? Who has been shooting walls? I see, the projectile has been removed. Clearly, Jigoku part of this room has really disposed of it. No, then, Mr. Strokonov. I have this distinct impression that you're attempting to shield that part. I don't know what you are talking about. Why would I try to protect Eastern Stranger? Ah, so we're talking about this shame. I see good. I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this in no time, aren't you? Because there's some very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you are lying for the man. Yes, you have been told to keep this pretense as clearly... Wie soll ich das nicht zu Ende vorlesen? Mann, Spiel! I really don't know how to approach this one chance. Ah, nein, dear Mikotoba, simply keep first principles in mind. Study your object from every angle, and I'm quite sure that you'll see it. In fact, I'd put a wager on it. So I'm to glare at the fellow from all sides well can so that yes, you've been told to keep up this pretense is clearly shown by. Es müsste jetzt eigentlich das Tattoo hier sein. Fairerweise, weil das ja eigentlich sehr auffällig ist. Muss ich mal fairerweise sagen. Hallöchen, was hast du für Scheinchen in der Hosentasche? Oder besser gesagt in der Gesäßtasche. Was hat er denn da dazu zu sagen, muss man sagen? Irischer Tanzbalger oder diese Irish Dance, wo es da gibt, kommt da schon bald hin, I guess. It's almost too obvious here for words. Quite the universal language of the world, money. Ah. And I'd wager the Eastern fellow in question is Richter Jigoku, yes? Yeah. So I presume you realize what this means. There's a clear signs that a crime has been committed in this cabin, and the way you're going through, you'll find yourself a cause of being an accomplice. But I believe you know, Mr. Strokonov. You know where Mr. Jigoku is hiding at the precise moment in time. Da fehlt ja eigentlich nur noch irgendwas mit dem Koffer da unten, I guess. Würde ich zumindest davon ausgehen, würde ich behaupten. As always, we could hope in matters of deduction, the food ties. Glass is your unfaltering ally. Yes, I think you're onto something, 3 shows. You have found the chink in this bully fellow's armor. We need only follow the man's guess to know where our prey is hiding. The slightest flicker of the pupils are minutely delabeling. Nothing escaped my attention, even said which is barely recital. You could hardly call his barley recitations. The man's turned his entire heat. It's not exactly what you'd described as a fertile glance, is it? It's almost too obvious. Be sure that you're having toes decide, my dear fellow. Es muss ja dann irgendwas Nennenswertes sein hier. Das hatten wir schon. Shelf. Ja, das da hinten, das Tattoo wird ja dann auch nicht nennenswerterweise sein, oder alles was mit dem Sprechblase zu tun, das müsste ja eigentlich dann ja die Large-Truhe unten sein, I guess. Also schaut ja auch, aber also man könnte ja meinen, dass er schon direkt uns den Hinweis ergibt, dass man da dann hinkommt, I guess. Würde ich mal behaupten. Warte. Jetzt. You turned immediately to look at this large trunk, didn't you? The truth is Richter Jigoku was unable to escape from the ship in time, and is at this very moment doing his best to stifle his breath inside his trunk. If he still has breath to take, he may running dangerously low on air. I meant he didn't count on us making a nuisance of yourself for quite so long. I think it would be in everyone's best interest for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible. But how can we? Are you forgetting about the combinations? Look, we don't know the 7-byte code. The combinations look can't be opened from inside the trunk, therefore there must have been an arrangement for somebody to open it after your departure, of course. In short, before Jigoku hid himself inside the trunk, he must have told somebody the 7-byte number for the lock. Aber das hat dann was mit dem Tattoo dann zu tun. Ah, okay, darauf wollen sie. Merkt, ich bin wieder etwas wacher, muss man sagen. As I'm sure you can confirm, Mr. Strogonov. No, I know nothing about combinations code. Don't move a muscle, my good seaman. Now, Mikotopa, would you do the honors and open the trunk? How on earth do you accept me? It's a 7-digit number, remember quietly now. We have little times. Oh. Schon. So muss ja hier quasi die 4, hier die 5. Hey, oder warte mal. Oh, komm schon, ey. Das heißt hier quasi dann die 4 sein, I guess. Ja, das müsste quasi die 3 und hier dann quasi 1 sein. So in etwa müsste das so aussehen, oder? Das ist so von außen, dass ich das merken muss man sagen. Ich habe das jetzt quasi als Schreibens gelesen und nicht als Zahlen, muss man mal fairerweise sagen. It's open. You had to meddle, didn't you? Good no. Well, Chujin, you have to found me now. Shishiro. I was really hoping beyond hope not to find you here, you know. But you're not entirely unsurprised, I take it. No, quite, I just wish it were some other way. Well, are you ever going to introduce me? Are your reputations precedes you, Mr. Sholmes, eyes to read stories of many of your exploits? Excuse my manners, Sholmes. This is Mr. Jigoku, my old friend and traveling companion. The devil is in the details, Mr. Meet Kotoba. I believe you mean to say your old friend and traveling companion who made the cowardly decisions to flee the country without a word to anyone when things turned out sure. I see my reputation precedes me as well. What an honor. Well, Shishiro, are you going to explain all this? You know it all by now, I meant. What you didn't know, of course, this is 3 days ago. Aber war das dann nicht total unbequem in dieser Kiste? Ich meine, selbst für seine Kiste ist für seine Größe ist diese Kiste, muss man sagen, nennenswerterweise doch schon immer noch viel zu klein, I guess, so wie drinnen gelegen hat, I guess. Also, das ist doch dann auch schon wirklich nennenswerterweise schon wirklich nennenswerterweise was sehr enges, I guess, würde ich mal behaupten. Weiß ich jetzt nicht so genau, aber ich gehe mal ganz stark davon aus, muss man mal fairerweise dazu sagen. On the night before our arrival in Britain, an attempt was made on my life here on this very ship by the Reaper of Bailey. Yes, I've signed here because you were once prosecuted by the Reaper, weren't you? 10 years ago, no, mind you. And I had no idea at the time what a dangerous individual he was. Anyway, when we arrived in London to find the symposium was postponed until goodness knows when, became all too apparent to me that I made very well the target again. So you decided to flee the capital without saying a word to me about it? I'm afraid so, yes, of course, I realize now. It was that I really ought to have confided in you. It's somewhat surprising, I must say. What is? Well, first-class captains are private luxury steamships are in very short supply. It's more than a little hard to believe it is on just happened to be available. So say the protagonist of some colorful short stories. Well, I don't care for opinion. The cabin did just happen to be available, so I purchased a ticket and here I am. I've just seen for myself the obviously remains of that incident in this cabin. So you'd already purchased your return ticket before we even docked in Dover, had you? To prevent anyone else taking this cabin and seeing the evidence is that it Eugene, I have nothing to say to you. Well, in a mere 5 minutes the ship will set off on its onward voyage and not make port again until Italy. Jetzt wollt ihr in Italien anlegen oder was soll das hier? I'm afraid we must insist that you disembark with us at once. You have no jurisdiction over my movements. We have this Shishiro, take it. What is it? Ach stimmt, ich habe ja fairerweise das... Ich kann da auch gar nicht. Wirklich rein. It's a Supernea from the Old Bailey. You are a man of the law. You know what the ramifications of ignoring a document like this from the British courts would be. You came prepared then, Eugene. Come on, let's go. One moment. What is it, Mr. Jones? Inside Mr. Jigoku's trunk, I found this rather fascinating trinket. What is that, Shishiro? I can't tell you, I'm afraid a small component from something. But what I have no idea. By the look on his face, I think he genuinely doesn't know. Well, let us forget it as a small souvenir of our brief souvenir in France. Okay, schade, dass wir das nicht mal nennenswerterweise untersuchen können. Well, you young Naruto, I think we have done as much as we can, I'm afraid. The rest will be on the shoulders of you and your assistant. 3. November, 12:10 Uhr. The Old Bailey Court Room. Oh boy. Kazuma Asugi. I know you won't lie, but still, there's no doubt that you're holding something back. You know more than you're saying. During the past 30 minutes, while This court was assured all possible efforts expended. But sadly, Mr. Chikuru's whereabouts could not be ascertained. We must accept the unfortunate conclusion that the Reaper has already done the deed. Ach, bist du dir auch wirklich sicher? Muss man mal fairerweise sagen, there's no sense in wasting any more of the court's time. The prosecution calls for an immediate verdict. No, the trial cannot end now. You are a Japanese man, Ryanosuke. You are cold now when to lay down your sword. And you should know never to presume when the battle is won. The court has already been present with all the evidence and heard all relevant testimony. There can only be one conclusion, that the accused is guilty. All relevant testimony, far from it. There is still a crucial witness from whom the court is yet to hear a single word of testimony. Außerdem gehe ich mal irgendwie davon aus, dass bald ein To Be Continue kommt, deswegen gefühlt mache ich jetzt mal noch länger, muss man sagen. Da wird halt die Folge länger, I guess. In such case, call your witnesses to the stand at once, Consul. Yes, my lord. Tomorrow, if possible. The witness is already on his way and scheduled to arrive tomorrow. Who on earth is this crucial witness? Richter Jigoku. The very man allegedly murdered by the Reaper. Judas Jigoku, you have found him? Danach sieht es ganz sicherlich dann aus. Muss man mal fairerweise sagen, but the investigation of this very policing resource in the capital suggests that Jigoku is already dead. How in the name of God did you find the man? He was located in France during the recess at the port of Don Creek. Thanks to one of Mr. Sholmes' famous deductions. Sherlock Holmes? Inspector Gregson almost currently meet with Mr. Jigoku on the night of his death, because along with prosecutor Asogi Gregson was on a mission to assassinate the man. Which means that Richter Jigoku is the sole witness who can clarify exactly what happened aboard the SS Cruise on the 13th October. Well, it would appear that it's too soon to move to adjudications on this point. Oh boy, the prosecution concurs. The court must hear Mr. Jigoku's testimony. No judgment shall be passed until all testimony has been considered. In such case, I hereby call the end of today's proceedings. Court will reconvene at the same hour tomorrow. No objections from either side. No, my lord. No objections, my lord. We live to fight another day by the skin of our teeth. Oh boy. Das riecht doch ernsthaft noch an To Be Continue. Und es ist auch eins, meine lieben Freunde, würde ich mal sagen. Im nächsten Part geht es dann auch weiter. Macht es also bis dahin gut und auf Wiedersehen, meine Lieben.